Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Tina's Tiny Thursdays. Today, more portraits. I plan on making Cyclops from the original X-Men trilogy, not the new X-Men trilogy. I don't know about the rest of the Days of Future, that First Class, those people. I don't know about doing those. I might do James McAvoy, because I did do the Magneto from the younger cast, but as far as everybody else, I don't know about that. Because it's not that I don't like those other movies, there's just, I don't know, I kind of want to do portraits of people from, like, the earlier Marvel stuff, and, like, do a print of that. That's why I did Blade and a young picture of Hugh Jackman and Halle Berry as Storm and, you know, stuff like that. So the plan is to do early 2000s Marvel stuff. And I might throw in, like, Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans and Thor as well. And maybe one of the Hulks, but the plan is to stick to, like, classic Marvel movie people. That's the plan as of right now. It's subject to change, and who knows, I might do more portraits. Like I said, it is subject to change, but that is what we are. Cyclops is what I am making today. And in the, I'll pull up the reference photo. Oh my gosh, did I not? Oh my gosh. I'm such a silly person. I did not change the last week's portraits. I thought I did. I sent the photo to myself and then started trying to find photos of Cyclops. Let me change that real quick. It's gonna take over the whole screen, so don't be alarmed. Riveting stuff right here, guys. Resizing this gigantic photo. Yeah, there's Wolverine. If you hear screaming or action sequences stuff in the background, my father is just watching the first Spider-Man movie, so do not be alarmed if you hear someone screaming for their life. It's completely fine. It's just Spider-Man. But anyway, without further ado, let me do... Oh, I was gonna do a background. Where'd I put the... Okay, it's in my lap. We're off to an amazing start, guys. Such a riveting stuff for me today. Great Scott. Hello, Zombo. You doing your campaign tonight? just go with the chill vibes again today. The background in the reference picture is like completely black, but I didn't want to do it. It's just completely black, so I made it blue. No one has canceled yet. Ah! Good. Good for you. Nope, nope, we're not doing a quarter. That's... don't need that mark. It's... okay. You got your maps and stuff already done? Oh, okay. Never mind. You answered the question before I could ask it. I have most of the maps drawn, just need to set up everything in Foundry. Okay. That's good. Look at you! Killing the game. Ahead of the curve. And it's only 2 o'clock. You got all the time in the world. Starting off wrong already. The visor. It's more like over here that goes down. I thought about doing Mystique, but then I was like, I don't know if I want to do Mystique right now and have to deal with painting a blue person. But if Scott turns out okay, then maybe I'll do Mystique and Nightcrawler and Beast, you know. Since they're all like the same skin tone. If I have those colors on my palette, I think this needs to scoot down just a little bit more. Oh yeah, it's not straight across. What am I thinking? Goes way, way down. It would make sense if I, you know, looked at my reference photo while I was working. That would make a lot more sense. Instead of just doing what I think the image should look like. I think it'd be funny if I did a Star Trek series after I finish this Marvel series. I only thought about it because Geordi has a visor, like Scott here. Mr. James Marsden. His face is so interesting. Like, he's a handsome man, but I wouldn't say he's, like, conventionally attractive. Like, there's so many interesting things about his bone structure. You're like, that's a handsome guy, but then you're like, his face is... it's like carved weird, you know? Is the best way I can describe it. And I guess I didn't notice until I was like watching the Sonic movies, and I was like, he has... his face is so So very interesting. I don't know. Doctor Who next. Doctor Who before Star Trek? I don't know. Okay, this one is way too over. I need to pin this down because you can see his ear. I don't know, if I do like all the doctors and stuff, if I just start just continuing on with the tiny portrait things, I'm definitely gonna have to change my name. Or I could just go back to doing text portraits. I don't know. Okay, so his nose... Okay, dead center is like visor territory, right? Boom, boom. Oh yeah, it needs to come down more. It's like slightly above, like right there, but then it's like... This is why we use grids, people. So you can tell where your lines are going wrong. Okay, now that the visor is in a better spot than it was before, I'm gonna start on his nose. Are about right there. His nose, however, I suppose one good thing about painting Cyclops and his visor is that I don't have to worry about if the eyes are lined up perfectly with the nostrils and stuff like that, since most of his face is kind of blocked anyway. He's got like this furrowed brow expression. Like he's just about to start shouting, "Jean! Jean! Jean!" Did you guys ever see the supercut of Cyclops from the cartoon, just constantly shouting his name? Not his name, her name. It might have been a supercut of Cyclops and Wolverine just shouting Jean. It was like, I don't know, like 5 minutes long or something like that. Them just shouting her name. It's like, man, they... That's all these two talk about, huh? It's eyebrows. Right there. I think I might have started the lips a little too low because I'm running out of space. Like this is supposed to be like the, like kind of like the bulge of the chin right there, and so the lips are in the wrong spot, which is fine for now since I haven't started any skin tone stuff. I will redraw that in white. Just gonna make some marks for myself just so I know where some of like the highlight and shadows are supposed to go. Just like a hard light right there. Hard light right there. One over here. I'm gonna start putting in some of his hair. That hairline in there. He's got some curls coming down. And then he's got like his finger like on the visor. Ready to turn it or press it. Your boy's ready to do damage. Gonna take a photo and then compare. See what things need to be adjusted. Oh, my Twitch people are about to get out of their ad. Hello everybody on Twitch. I'm just I took a photo of this and I'm gonna overlay it to see how far off the drawing is from the actual reference photo. Sorry I keep pausing at like mid-sentence. I'm just trying to line this up correctly. So this is what our sketch looks like. Let me zoom out just a tiny bit. This is what the sketch looks like. I have Scott on the layer underneath. Honestly, it lines up pretty good. I mean, some of the jaw I'm seeing on this right side is a little off, so I can adjust that. But the ears are pretty good. The nose, if I just remember that those white lines are where like the shadows are, it'll line up pretty good. The visor's in a good spot. His hairline just needs to come down a tad, so I'm just gonna make those quick adjustments and then I'm gonna start with the shading. Clean up this line later. I just want to fix that jaw. That means the ear needs to come over a little bit. Let's look at the left side. Yeah, but this wasn't a bad sketch. The lips are off, though. The lips are off. The angle of the lips is wrong. So let's redo that. So the initial, like, bump on the lips, I had that in the right spot. It was just the angle. Like, this is right. It's just that it needs to come down. It's like, it's slanted, and before I had it looking straight on. Which doesn't make sense, because this whole image is, you know, he has his head, like, kind of tilted. So if his lips are facing forward straight, and his head is tilted, the lips are gonna look off. Mouth slightly open and parted. You can kind of see his teeth a little bit. I don't know if those lips are better or worse. The angle is better because the face is, you know, they're tilted, but I'm wondering if they're maybe a tad bit too low? Possibly, but yeah, I think they're just slightly too low. Move it up just a little bit. Move this up as well. Okay. So now we have our sketch. Now it's time to add color. And the good thing about using the blue background is that in our reference image there is a lot of like kind of like dark blues and like gray undertones to it, because it looks like he is kind of in shadow. Not kind of in shadow, he's really in shadow. I mean, you can see it up there, but also I just wanted to point out like how, like if I color pick, like that's a really it's a really dark shade. Probably the lightest, the brightest shade is that, and that's a very, again, that's a very, very dark. So there's this very dark, kind of bluish, brownish, gray undertones to this photo. So having the blue background will help a little bit with the color mixing. It's like working on toned paper. It's just gonna give a different vibe and have a different effect, as if from if it was just pure white. should have made more of that initial color. It's not brown. I'm gonna get a touch of blue. And even though this is acrylic paint, I'd like to do a lot of mixing on the actual canvas as if it were oils, because I got my start in oils, and so some things and some practices just feel a little bit better to me since I started off doing wet into wet paintings. Now, I don't always do wet into wet techniques. And I do keep a blow dryer near me just in case I want to go from wet to wet to wet to dry. It's been so long since I've seen the original X-Men trilogy. Like I've seen bits and pieces. You know, my dad likes to flick through TV channels a lot, and so sometimes I'll see like clips of like 20 different Marvel movies instead of him just not literally 20, but like 3 different Marvel movies. He'll just watch it for a little bit, then change the channel to the news or football game or basketball game, and then go back and then watch a couple parts. It's like, you know, we have the DVDs, right? Did I ever tell you about the X-Men character called Soft Serve? No. Is it some sort of ice cream dairy person? Am I being too literal with my assumptions? That's... okay. I don't like that. Remember the other... yes, like 2 days ago when we were having a discussion about Spider-Man? Maybe it wasn't like 2 days ago, maybe it was like a week ago, but we were having a discussion about Spider-Man and the webs coming out of him. And I was like, I'm fine with that. I'm not fine with what you just typed. Not at all. They can control the flavor too. See, this is why I can't always be vibing with comics. I can't always just be like, well, it's comic book accurate. So, no, some things are just dumb. Some things are just literally not worth the ink it was printed on. They only show up in one panel anyway. One was too much. One was too much. I need magenta. Oh no, come on, come on, come on. There we go. I'm gonna have to buy some more magenta this weekend. They're a blurry eyes. They're a blurry background character holding an ice cream cone. Offering it to... okay. Okay. I could have gone my whole life without knowing that. Thank you for this information, Zambo. The author said it works like Cyclops' eye portal to another dimension. Why their butt, though? Why their butt? That was not a fun fact, somebody. That was not a fun fact. like think about the implications of that person's life. I just I don't know. Some things are not worth the bit. Fun fact about Cyclops, though, he doesn't shoot lasers, he shoots beams of kinetic energy, which comes from a different dimension called the Punch Dimension. The Punch Dimension. His brother also has a similar connection to that dimension, but he can shoot it out differently. Yeah, his brother was in one of those younger X-Men movies with the... not with Ian McKellen, with the Fassbender and McAvoy. I am knowingly putting on the wrong shade of foundation right now. With this man. First Class, yeah. His brother was in First Class, and then there was this he died in 2? Right? When the X-Mansion exploded? Did you read a lot of comics growing up, Zombo? Or did you just randomly gather this information about Cyclops? I've read a good few. Okay. I didn't read a lot of X-Men comics growing up. We had them. I just didn't read them. I read more DC comics growing up, actually. For a while, I did read Deadpool. I read some Spider-Man for a little while. Sometimes if there was like an alternate universe story, I would read that. Like what was it? 1408? I read that series. But most of what I read consistently was DC. And by DC, I consistently read the Batman Superman crossover comic. I didn't read much of anything else, to be honest. Like, my siblings would talk about comics a lot, because my dad had a crap ton. We had like over 10,000 comics in our house at one point. Now Christina has them all. But Dad was collecting for years and years. Like, it'd be the thing to go, I think it was every Wednesday? I think that's when new comics would come out. My dad would drive, like, I don't know, 30-40 minutes away from our house to go to the old comic book shop that we used to go to as kids before we moved. Yeah, it had to be like a 40 minute to like an hour drive for him just to go back and revisit that old comic book shop. My mom was into them and would get me some to read. A fun fact about Magneto, he can control the electromagnetic force, which is a fundamental force in physics. He can even manipulate light. Yeah, Magneto, he's overpowered. I feel like there's definitely something wrong about this, but I'm working on fixing it. I need to take in the shadow around there a little bit more. But because of the movies, everyone just thinks he controls metal. Yeah. He can do so much more, which was why I was kind of glad in the Age of Apocalypse movie where it showed his powers being like devastatingly powerful, and I was like, yeah, do it, Magneto. There were also other things about the movie that I didn't like, because like when he went to like get revenge on those workers that resulted in his wife and child being killed. And, you know, you saw the factory, like, filled with metal and molten metal and all this stuff. You're just like, okay, what is he about to do to kill all these guys? And then freaking Apocalypse just comes and just like buries them all alive, and it's just like, oh, come on. Come on. This would have been so much more interesting if you guys just would have let Magneto have his petty little revenge, and then... You know, I'm a millennial, so I've seen every Final Destination movie. So if I see an unsafe work environment, my brain automatically goes to Final Destination. So if you guys are someone that can just cause Final Destination things with their powers, like that's what's about to be an interesting movie scene. And then Apocalypse was just like, nope, come work for me. I was like, it's like, I can make you so much more powerful. I can unlock your potential. I'm like, I wanted to see Magneto get revenge. That was the most interesting part to me about First Class, watching Magneto hunt down the Nazis that escaped. It's one of the reasons I like X-Men 97. I still haven't watched that yet. They show him making force fields and other cool stuff. That does sound cool. You should watch, by the way, they're making another sequel soon. Another sequel season soon. Okay. I heard Rogue did Gambit dirty, though. heard she's with Magneto instead of Gambit. And that Gambit dies. You know, sometimes, like, thinking about how powerful mutants are, Rogue did, but I blame the writers for just wanting to add drama. Yeah, that's probably fair. What was I saying? I forgot. I don't remember what I was saying. Like, the main reason is she can't do the touchy-kissy with Gambit. But like in that show's universe, they have collars and stuff that turn off mutant power, so she could totally touchy-kissy Gambit. Yeah. She could just turn her powers off, and there's no reason not to be with Gambit. I don't know if I like that shade. I think I need to add some brown to it. To get it closer to... touch more pink. They would have a mutant guy who makes stuff and is from the future, so he could make her a bracelet or something that has an on-off switch. Yeah, they just wanted the drama. I think his name is Forge, and he basically has the ability to make crazy tech. Nope, nope, that's not the right shadow. Still not quite right. But I will mull it over internally while I do other things. But I get it. We love drama in our X-Men stories for some reason. I mean, to a certain extent, every X-Men has had some kind of crazy love triangle. It does seem like there's a lot of love triangles in X-Men. You know, I'm looking at this, and I feel like this looks more like the kid that played the younger him. Maybe it's the lips. Maybe if I add, like, change the lips a little bit and add, like, facial hair, it'll look less like the younger version of him. Which I didn't get until, like, I guess I started doing this portrait. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess the other kid kind of resembles him when the visor's on. Every X-Men has had a love triangle. They shuffle them around with each other a lot. Fun fact, Colossus has a sister, and she only showed up in the last Fox movie before they got bought, The New Mutants. Her name is Ileana. Yeah, I saw something about... Like, I've seen clips of Ileana. I haven't seen The New Mutants, because the release date kept getting pushed back, and so my interest just also got pushed back. And I know it's been out for a while, but I was just like, I don't think I care anymore. Since they're not going to do anything with these people. These lips are definitely the wrong shade. How do we get to the right shade is the question. It's pretty mid-movie with some nice moments, I think. Okay. I mean, I figured it had to be mid because no one ever talks about it. Like, I saw an Ileana edit on TikTok the other day, and that was like the first time I heard anyone mention the New Mutants since, like, I don't know, it's been like a couple years since I've seen someone mention the New Mutants. Guh. Why guh? Someone canceled for this week and next week. Oh, that sucks, buddy. Guess I'm grinding Rivals for a while. I mean, yeah, you could. I still have yet to try out Marvel Rivals. Everyone tells me it's so much fun. I just... I feel like I have a bad habit of not getting games until everyone else is already over them. Because I'm playing the last game that everyone was so into, you know? Well, maybe I need on the very last one. I'm not hip with the times. I'm so not hip with the times. Why do you say, huh? Me saying I'm not hip with the times confuses you? I got Baldur's Gate a full year after all of you guys stopped playing it. There was something else where I finally got it and none of you guys cared about it anymore. Oh, you didn't hear what I said before that. Oh, I said I'm not hip with the times, and usually when I finally get a game, it's when the rest of you guys are all over it. Like how you guys kept asking me to play Minecraft, and I finally did, and I like joined the server, and then like 2 weeks later, no one was playing anymore. It's like, oh, okay. You would play Baldur's Gate again. I liked my playthrough. I feel like everyone got what they deserved in the end. I liked my decisions. And the people that didn't get anything, it was just because they annoyed me. Like, there were certain character quests, it's like, I'm not doing this because you missed too many shots. You missed too many 60% chances of a hit, Shadowheart. I'm not looking for your parents. Baldur's Gate is pretty fun, though. I feel like if I did play it again, I would not play it with the party extended mod, because as easy as it made some encounters, traveling with 11 people all the time, it just got to, near the end, it got to be a little annoying, especially when I just needed like 5 people to dash. Like in the final battle, yeah, I had 11 people with me, and then, well, technically I was the 11th, I think, but, yeah, there's just all these people, and I needed to, like, avoid enemy fire that was gonna come down in, like, a turn or two, and so I just spent a lot of time dashing with, like, half of my group, and it was like, this is... yikes. This is yikes. But I don't know. Maybe if I did have that mod, I just wouldn't carry 11 people with me, you know? Maybe 6. Something a little more reasonable. It was funny because sometimes I would like go somewhere and I wouldn't realize that everyone wasn't in the turn order. Because like some people were like technically like still hidden or like in shadows, like Asterion sometimes just was not in battles, and I was like, he about to do some sneak damage right now. Just sneak him onto the battlefield and then... yeah. Baldur's Gate is so fun. Yeah, the mods kept messing us up, Zombo. Because we didn't have the same ones. Nope, that was me. And I uninstalled all my mods, and then it was still not letting us play. Because the mods, that I couldn't find exactly where it was like still in code in my computer or whatever. I just messed up this lip. Now it looks like he's going, uh-huh. But nope, that was me. Yeah. I guess the solution is just for you to get the Gale Man Bun mod, and so we can finally play together. Just get that mod on Vortex, and then we'll be good to go. I wonder if that would still screw up on, like, crossplay, because there was someone that wanted to do... someone I met that wanted to do a game with me, but he plays on PS4. I wonder if that was still screwed up. As beautiful as Mr. Decarius's man bun is, if it's gonna keep me from playing with other people, then I might just have to find a way to permanently delete it. I think out of our friend group, me and Dee were the only ones that actually finished it. I know Sakura didn't. I don't think Regina did either. I don't know if Penguin did or not. Oh, let me fix this lip before it haunts my dreams. I feel like the shadows and highlights in some places are a little too harsh. I don't know why I'm. Let me do this nostril real quick. With shadow on this nostril, and then I'll go back to. That's like the. This is there. That's supposed to like be the outline. What's that supposed to be? There is like a little highlight right there. It's not exactly white, so I'm gonna tune it down a little. That's a better shade for sure. Oh no, my lamp! My lamp! I died. Okay. Where's the cord? Man. Oh, it's like under my foot. It's like wrapped around my shirt. Oh, and I unplugged it from the socket. Great. is not the solution. Touch my brown. I'm playing Spider-Man on Rivals. Playing Spider-Man is hard, especially when your frames keep chugging for no reason. I need to upgrade my PC. Don't we all, buddy? Don't we all? I would love a windfall of cash right about now. Speaking of windfalls of cash, thank you for everybody that is watching today, whether you're watching on YouTube or Twitch. I appreciate you guys taking time out of your busy lives to watch me make stuff. I do have a Ko-fi page for those, well, for anybody, if you guys would like to donate and help support the stream and stuff like that. But I know I'm not monetized on YouTube as of yet. But you you guys would like to support the channel, you can go to my Ko-fi page and support there. Or you guys could buy a painting at tinastextportraits.com. Trying to give him that 5 o'clock shadow. So he doesn't have like a full beard. It's just kind of scraggly looking. Yeah, this totally looks like the other guy, and not like James Morrison. I don't know how that happened. Maybe it's the nose. Maybe the nose just being slightly off. Just... I don't feel like the lips are that bad. I don't know. There's just something about it that is just, This is the portion of the stream, everybody, where I check my work. Again. Like, I don't think it's a bad portrait at all. I just think it's somewhere in between him and the young guy that also played him. Yeah, he is kind of mewing, isn't he? Mewing Cyclops was not my intention, but, okay. So, mewing Cyclops right here, right? Right? Mewing Cyclops, and then we turn on the opacity, regular Cyclops. The nostril on this side, too big. And the lips, the angle of the lips is still wrong. And the visor's slightly off too, but it's the visor. It's not like it's its face. And the shadows, it's not exactly the right color, but that's not the big issue. Okay. Let me fix the nose, first of all. Got Gen Z Cyclops over here, everybody. That is not dark enough. Let's add a touch of blue to that. That was too much blue. The touch was heavy-handed. It was a slap. It slapped. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry. I think the younger actor that plays him has a bigger nose than him, and that's why I thought it looked more like the younger him than him. I need to bring this lip down. How did I make that shade? This is close enough. This is close enough, I guess. It's up too much. Oh, his eyebrows are... His visor's too big. His visor's too big for his face. He's a much smaller visor. Okay. Interesting. Don't know how I didn't see that before. I was too focused on his lips. I'm trying to figure out his lips. I was too focused on them. That is not the... Here, let's get some of that to darken it. This is the bottom. No, this is the shadow for the bottom lip. You know, let's just bring that in there. Just bring that up a little bit, because bring that up. Bring this down. You know, when I was younger, I knew basically nothing about Cyclops. But he was my brother's favorite character, so I just assumed that Cyclops was really lame. Like, that was all the reasoning I needed. Like, oh, my brother likes him, he must be a huge dork. Never investigated if he was or wasn't. I was just like, yep, huge dork right there. He's still mewing. I think I'm gonna leave the lips as is. I think this visor situation is a bigger deal than... Let me soften the shadows first of all, so he's not mewing. Let's do that first of all. I mean, there are some pretty hard shadows in the reference photo, but the contrast is too much in some areas. Again, I don't think this is a bad portrait. Like, I don't think it's badly constructed or anything, or the shading is that much off and stuff like that. It's just, there are things about it that could be better to make it look more like James Marsden and less like someone trying to be James Marsden, you know? You know, I thought his forehead looked too small earlier, and I was just like, maybe. And then I just completely never investigated. Like, it was such a quick thought that I just... So these wonderful forehead wrinkles are gonna have to come down as well. This is too blue. I don't know why I have my arm cranked up like this. That's definitely not right. Okay, I'm going to dry this so I can fix his forehead. So I'm gonna mute for a little bit. So, back to fixing his forehead. It's a touch of white. just because this light pink is starting to get a little chunky because it's been sitting out for 2 hours. Everything's starting to get a little chunky, honestly. Touch my brow. I'm trying to color match to this right there. Oh, yes, to that, so I can do the... Okay, that looks pretty good, honestly. I might just leave the lips mewing as they are. But I do want to fix the nose. I'm gonna finish the visor and probably call it a day. And intended to do other things in this stream as well. But, you know, the best laid plans of mice and men often go awry. Where's that? Oh, I left it out this time. Okay, there's our Cyclops. That's all I'm doing on this today. Thank you for everybody for watching me struggle bus through that. You know, I thought this would be easier because he, you know, doesn't have eyes, but I wouldn't say this was one of the most difficult. It was just, I realized some things were out of place a little too late. And there were small things about this that turned out to be more intricate than I originally thought. But I think this is it's a decent portrait. Again, he is mewing. This is Gen Z Cyclops. He's gonna destroy people, not with his eye beam, but with his bone structure. But I hope you guys enjoyed. You guys can catch me next week. You guys know the regular day, regular time, Tuesdays and Thursdays. But yeah, that's Cyclops. This is my Cyclops. Oh wait, I did want to... kind of make it look like it was... yeah, shimmering outwards a little bit. There we go. And then maybe... there we go. Alright everybody, I'll catch you later. Like I said, TinaSexPortraits.com is where you can go to check out my other stuff, commission me, all that jazz. That's also where you can go to check out actual text portraits that I've made and not just like portraits.